Hey, friend. Welcome to Creative Coffee Chat. I'm Dana with Imagination Paint, aka Paint and Purpose. Go on and grab whatever you're sipping on, pull up a chair, and we are going to create today. Let's get together and just create and talk about what Jesus has been putting on our hearts this week. I'm excited. And so I'm trying something new today. I am going to attempt watercolor in my Bible. So this is something I've been wanting to do for years, and I never sit down and take the time to do it. And I've seen other people, like other creative friends of mine, this like especially those who do Bible journal, always like sit down and make it look so fun. And they do like watercolors in our Bible. And so also besides this being my first time trying this in particular, I also don't do a lot of watercolor. So this is going to be kind of an experiment today. I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm really excited. So I've got my water bottle and I don't know if I want to spray it like on my page or if I just want to do like my paints first. I don't know. This is completely like a test. So I'm excited just to play around with it and see what it does. I think I'm going to spray um, my Bible first, and then like let's just kind of see what happens. And let me get some of my paints wet too. So this is a complete experiment. Y'all bear with me. I have no idea what is about to happen. This could be great and it could be a complete bust. So, but yeah, hop on and let me know if you're watching. Tell me your name, where you're watching from, and I want to be sure to say hey. I'm just so excited you're here, and today I really am. I'm excited about this topic because I feel like so many people don't realize like the impact that they have waiting inside of them to be unleashed. And it's something that's so personal to me. And I'm just really excited to share and to talk about this today. So, what we're going to talk about is basically how your story, hey, Angel, how are you? Your story is not meant for you. It is, but it's meant to help somebody else too. And this is the cool thing about ministry and creative ministry. Like, I think so many people have this like idea in their mind, like, in order to minister to other people, you have to like be behind a pulpit or something like that. And that is not true. That is not the case at all. And so let's like talk about this for a minute because that is definitely um, a perspective I think that needs to be addressed, especially, um, you know, I feel like so many of us are called to like do something way more with our creativity, but we don't really know how to do it or how to like go about it or put it into motion or put it into action. And we're like, we get tripped up on, I don't know what to say. And, this kind of thing. Like, I want to share my testimony with somebody. I want to help somebody else with my story, but I just really don't know like how to actually do that in a setting. And so, let's talk about this for a minute. And I've got my notes again. I'm always going to have notes. If you see me look, just y'all bear with me. I'm not great at like memorizing stuff. And so I am a note taker and I love having them to refer to. So even you can do this, you can do this, you can cheat, you can have your notes like and still go and like inspire people and talk to people and influence people. And that's the cool thing. Like, you don't have to be perfect. And, God doesn't ask for perfection from us. He just wants us to go and just do our best, like go and just try, like move and take action for him. And so have you ever noticed, and I'm sure a lot of you have, if you are creative like me, but creativity and art is just so healing. And it has been like that for me for years and years and years. I know that I talked about it a little bit before about how, I used to sit in art class in high school. And that's where I really discovered that I loved to paint and I loved just, I don't know, like I would sit there and I'd have my headphones on and I would just like I would paint and I would just be there in my art class, and it just made me feel better. That was my favorite class, and it just always made me feel better. That was like the place that I went to every day, and I could just breathe. I didn't feel pressure to, make a certain grade. I could just be myself and create and just have fun and, not worry about everything else that was going on for just a little bit. Like any problems that I had, I could sit down and I could turn on my music and I could like paint and listen to music the whole time. And that was what helped me to get through so many different things in my high school years. And I just felt peace. Like I remember, I mean, even to this day, like I'll come and like when I come into my art room, I love to come and sit in here and I turn on my worship music and I turn on my music and I listen and I paint and I just create and it just brings me peace. And it's emotionally healing too. So not only like is it good to just, bring you peace and like calm your nerves when you're going through a stressful day, but it also is like emotionally healing. And so sometimes um the thing that helps you to heal is the very thing that God wants to use to help somebody else. And so I know I've shared my story before with you guys. Like when I was in high school, I would sit there and I would put my identity into other people. I remember feeling so lost and confused, and my self-esteem was awful. I'm like, I don't know who I am. I felt like, I mean, you think about it, when you're in high school, you feel like you have to conform to the rest of the world to fit in. I mean, it is like I can't even imagine what it would be like right now as like a kid. It was hard then. Like I can't imagine how hard it is right now. But I mean, that's the struggle at that age is like trying to figure out who you are, trying to figure out your place in the world and just hold on, let me adjust my camera on this. And so just trying to figure out like who you are and where you fit in and figuring out like your identity and like who am I? Who did God create me to be? Like that is the big struggle, right? And so when I was in school, I remember like I always looked for love to come from other people in other places. And that was really hard because people fall short all the time and you're looking for something to come out of an imperfect place, an imperfect person. It's not possible for a person to fill what is meant for God to fill. And so, but when you're like that age, you don't understand that. And so I remember like sitting in art class and I felt like sad a lot or confused a lot or, all the typical feelings that you have. And when you go through things like that, when you go through different traumas, growing up, I remember, hey, Ashley, I remember when I was 21, I lost my best friend in a car accident. And that was my first real battle with grief. And so like that hit me hard that because and that also made me realize like okay, life is short, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. I mean, you hear those things, it's kind of cliche, right? You hear those things, but then when you actually like experience it and you're like, this person that I've known my whole entire life is gone now, like that changes your perspective on life and how you want to live your life. And so I just remember like those being times, the hardest times that I went through were the things that one, God was preparing me to use to help other people. But also, like, this is where creativity always came in for me when I was going through those things. This is what helped me to feel better, what helped me to cope, what helped me to have an outlet to go to that was healthy. And I don't know, it's like God he took like what I loved doing and now he's given me this really cool opportunity to like use that and show other people how they can do that too, and how you can turn it into a ministry just by sharing your story. And so the other thing that I had gone through was miscarriages. I don't know if any of you have gone through a miscarriage or not, but we went through two of them. And both times, like, this is what even propelled me into doing my paint party business. So, looking back at it now, yeah, that was an awful experience that I was going through. That was traumatic. And I knew, like, if I didn't do something, that I was going to fall into a place that I didn't need to go into again. And so by the time that it happened the second time, I was like, okay, well, I've got to do something that's going to make me cope with this and help me to heal. And I knew that that was my painting. And so that's what made me decide to start the business. I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well make a little money with it. Right. And so it's kind of like one of those things, like, if the bad didn't happen, then the good would have never happened either. What has blossomed out of it? It's like he turns beauty for ashes. So it's kind of like, this is the beauty that he created out of those ashes. This is what he's doing with that. And so it's really cool, just to see where God can bring you through all of the different things that you go through, all the struggles, all the hard times that he allows us to go through. It's not a waste, and it's on purpose. We have the opportunity to learn something from each season that we go through, and he just helps to bring it all together. It's like really cool to look back and be like, oh, I see why he wanted me to go through that. I understand it. I didn't understand it then in the moment, and it was hard and it hurt. But there's always a reason, and he always uses it for good, and he always turns it for good. Ashley says, God will never waste a hurt. Amen. That is so true. Yeah, like, it's not a waste. It is hard. And when you're in the middle of it, you don't want to be in the middle of it. You don't want to be going through it. I mean, that's normal. That's human nature. But I mean, we've got to learn how to shift our mindset and our focus and be like, okay, I'm in a season that I don't like right now, but he's trying to teach me something while I'm here. So it's like, you almost have to try to make the best of it, and just try to switch your mindset and your perspective to, like, figure out, okay, what am I going to do with this? Because you have two choices. You can either, you can sulk and you can have a pity party, and, you can be like miserable and choose to stay stuck. And that is an option. And a lot of people take that option. But if we are trying to be more Christ-like, we should have a growth mindset. And he is always pushing us to grow and to learn. And so if we have that mindset and we're trying to be more Christ-like, then that is where we have to be like, okay, I'm going to go with option two, and I'm going to try to make the best of this. I'm going to try to see the good in it. I don't know what the good is right now. It doesn't feel good. It hurts. It's hard, but, like, it's pushing you, it's growing you, and you're going to learn something from it and through it that you can use at some point in your life. Maybe it's not right now. Maybe it's for a different season that you don't even know is coming yet. And so just know that it's not wasted. He has you here in this season for a reason. And it's really cool. And, when you think about creative ministry, this is the other thing. Ministry doesn't look like preaching, not all the time. It doesn't always look like, standing up behind a pulpit and preaching to a church. That's obviously part of it. But I mean, this could be you sitting at a kitchen table with some of your closest girlfriends that you haven't seen in forever, that you really need to just, like, get together with and catch up with, and have a conversation, and just have, like, a creative paint night, and sit there with your paintbrushes and just talk. And it opens up a safe space for y'all to share your stories and to relate to one another and help one another. That is also ministry. And I think that people have this misconception, like, you have to, get up and do, no, you're opening up a safe space for conversation. And that's the cool thing about this, being able to do this creative ministry through getting together and doing things like paint and praise. Like, how cool is that? How blessed are we to be able to do that? And really, that's all it is. It's just making that safe space for people to come and just to let go of what is on their plate and just breathe for a couple of hours. And so, I want you to think about that, your story. What is your story? If you have a story, if you have a testimony, then you're set. You can go. Like, that is you, nothing is holding you back. We're meant to share the stories that we have inside of us. We're meant to go and like tell what God has done in our lives. And so your healing story might be what somebody else needs in order to begin their healing journey. And so just think, if you're not willing to share your story, then how is somebody else going to be able to begin their healing journey unless you're willing to share it? So think about that for a minute. A lot of times when we're facing the decision, we're like, okay, maybe I should do it, maybe I should try it, but I'm so scared, I don't feel ready, I don't feel qualified. You're qualified because God has qualified you through your personal experiences. Did you know that? Like, that is your qualification. You've gone through it. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to go to seminary school. You don't have to have an art. You don't have to be a fine artist. You don't have to none of that. Like, you don't have to have any of that stuff. All you've got to do is have your story and say yes when Jesus is calling you to move. That's it. And what I see so much when I look around is people who want to do it, but they're scared and they don't know how to start, how to take the first step. And the thing is, you've got to think about this. Are you going to let your fear be what keeps you stuck? Are you going to let your fear be what keeps you frozen? Because if you're staying frozen, then somebody else isn't hearing what God needs you to tell them. And if somebody else isn't hearing what God needs you to tell them, then they're either going to miss out on what you have to say, or he's going to find somebody else who will do it. And I don't think that we should let that opportunity pass us by. If God can use you, why would you say no? Stop thinking about the fear so much and start thinking, how can I help somebody else? Because once we learn how to shift that mindset and change the perspective from us and put it on somebody else, then that is what makes the fear diminish. That's what makes, all of the stuff, all of the anxiety, all of like the doubts and everything else that the enemy keeps trying to feed us, that kind of starts to go away. That seems a little less important because we're like, this isn't about us anymore. This is about somebody else. And so it all starts with just sharing your story. And, I've been doing these paint and praise parties for the last couple of months now. I've done several of them. And, at the end, I do offer the prayer of salvation or an opportunity for people to come back to Christ. And let me just tell you what's so cool about that is coming in, and it's half the time like you've got a room with, some people might come with other people, but then you've got like people who have never even met each other before. And throughout the event, you're asking questions, you're creating space for conversation. And then you've got this person sharing their story. Well, then, you know what? This person right here, they can relate some way to that person's story. So the next thing you know, they have become friends and are sharing their stories and encouraging each other. You see what I'm getting at? Like, if you just start the conversation and you lead it and you guide it, then that opens the opportunity for other doors to open, for other people to connect that didn't know that they needed that person to connect with. And you are the person that is like orchestrating all of this stuff through Jesus. He's bringing the people to you that he knows needs to be together, but you're just opening the opportunity and creating that space. And it's so cool to watch it happen. And then by the end of the night, like we've had people who have said, you know what, I'm ready to come back to Jesus, or you know what, I am ready to make this decision for the first time. It is the best, most rewarding feeling that you can ever have, knowing that you were able to help do that just through being obedient. So, all of the stuff that's holding you back now, all of the thoughts that are like, I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm not qualified, ignore that, because that is not, that is not from Jesus. That is from the enemy. And he's trying to keep you from doing what God is calling you to do. And if you can just ignore that and put your focus on other people and what they're going to get out of this experience, just by you being obedient and setting it up, just by you being obedient, that's it. All you got to do is say yes and move, and he will take care of the rest. And if you're willing to do that, you're going to start seeing him do some really cool things through you. And it all just starts with sharing your story. And so I don't know if you've ever thought about creating a space like that for other women or not, but I am very excited because I am actually going to be offering a Kingdom Creative workshop next month. I'm in the process of putting it together now. Registration will be opening soon. And so I just wanted to put that out there in case any of this sounds like something that you are feeling like nudged towards. If you feel like, you know, God has a story in me, I'm meant to share my story. I don't really know how, but I do love to be creative. I love to paint. I love talking with other women and sharing with other women. Like, if you think any of that stuff, there's a reason God has put that in you. And I just want to invite you to come and just to join us for our 3-day workshop. And if you are interested in that, you can comment workshop in the comments and I'll send you the link to get on the wait list. Like I said, registration will be opening soon. And so once it does, you'll be the first to get updated about when it is open. And I'm just excited. It's going to be amazing. And you get a firsthand sneak peek at what this could look like for you. What does creative ministry look like? How do you lead a paint and praise night? But one that's actually ministry focused, one that is actually going to make an impact. It's not just about the painting, but it includes the ministry aspect of it. And so it's exciting to know that we have that opportunity as creatives. And I'm just really it's going to be amazing. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. So if you want more information about that, go on and put workshop in the comments. I'll send you the link. And if you have questions about anything, please comment, ask me questions. I would love to answer anything in the comments for y'all. Go back and look through the comments. But yeah, y'all, this has been the most incredible experience. Your story, it has a purpose. It's not for nothing. It's not going to go to waste. And if you feel a nudge at all, just know, like, God is telling you, like, it's time for you. It's time for you to use these gifts that I've given you. It's time for you to use this story to help somebody else. You're not meant to keep it inside. He wants to use that, and he wants to move through you, and he's gonna reach so many people doing that if you just tell him yes, and if you're just willing to move. So I believe in you, and I know that God is going to do something awesome through you. I just want to encourage you, take the first step, even if it's this week. Challenge yourself, get out of your comfort zone a little bit, because that's what it takes. We have to get out of our comfort zone, right? Get out of your comfort zone. Find a way to share your story, even if it's making a post on social media. If you make a social media post, share something about your story and encourage somebody else through it. Go live on your Facebook page and encourage somebody. Do you know how many people like need just a brief word of encouragement in the middle of their day? And they'll sit there and be scrolling through Facebook while they're on their lunch break or something, and they're like having the worst day. And then your live could pop up right there in their feed. Didn't even know it. And it is exactly what they needed to hear. You could be doing that right now. That's ministry. It doesn't have to be behind a pulpit. Just do it. Look for opportunities and be intentional about sharing your story and encouraging other people. And that's all you got to do. That's all you've got to do. So I hope that y'all have a wonderful week. I'm so excited about our workshop coming up. Next week is going to be fun. I've got a guest coming on with me next week. And so I can't wait for you all to meet her. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, just go out and share your story and let Jesus speak through you and work through you in ways that you never even realized that he could, because that's exactly what he will do if you give him that opportunity and just make yourself available. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll be back next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And I can't wait to see you then. Talk to you soon.